First of all, I'd like to thank you for attending the celebration of my mother's life. It might be a cliche, but I truly believe that she's watching today and she's beaming from ear to ear as she sees so many wonderful friends that are here to show their love for her. I'm Jeff, Audrey and George's eldest son, and I'll be speaking on behalf of my brothers, Greg and Tim, and our families. It's often been said that good things come in small packages, and Mom was the perfect example of that. Despite her diminutive status, she was a force to be reckoned with, and that enabled her to become many things for many people. Firstly, and definitely most importantly, she was a dear and loving wife to my dad. For those of you who are unaware of the details, my parents were all of 18 and 16 when they tied the knot in 1959. So just think about that for a minute. When most of us were focusing on getting our driver's license, or worrying about a tough high school class we were taking, or maybe going to the next school dance, Mom and Dad were husband and wife, and they were dealing with the day-to-day difficulties of real life. Just boggles my mind. Dad has often told me that the first time he saw Mom, he knew that she was the one for him. And I have no doubt in my mind that the feeling was mutual. I mean, given their 55 years of marriage, it's obvious that Mom loved Dad with every ounce of her being. As the milestones passed over the years, it was cute to see how the relationship evolved as they became two people living one life. Even in the latter stages of her life, and when she became sick, Mom continued to enjoy their daily tradition of going for a tour around Prescott in the car, taking in the sights, sharing their quality time together, and yes, she was very focused on looking for rabbits and wild turkeys. So I guess whatever floats your boat, that's good. Her life also included the role of a mother to three rambunctious boys that I'm sure were a challenge on a fairly regular basis. Although she was a mother at a young age, she easily grew into the role and provided direction for me and my brothers. While she certainly could be loving, we did learn at an early age that she wasn't to be trifled with. She wasn't shy about dispensing discipline when the situation called for it, and the three of us understood that crossing a line in the sand would result in getting a crack or two across the hindquarters with a wooden spoon. I'm sure Mom went through dozens and dozens of wooden spoons over the years between the ones she broke on her backsides and the ones we hid on her so she couldn't chase us with her. She was a little dynamo, and the honesty of it all, she needed to be because she was dealing with three testosterone-filled little boys. In hindsight, though, she had a remarkable amount of patience considering what we probably put her through over the years. We were never malicious, but it would be safe to describe us as going concerns. Yet the manner in which she raised us provided us with a template on how to be respectable, caring, and loving adults. Our moral compass was set on the right path, and as we each went out in the world as adults, we were ready for life's challenges because Mom had provided us with the necessary tools to do exactly that. I'd like to share one quick story regarding a simple but important decision Mom had in my life that indicates how she understood the trials and tribulations of childhood and teenage years. As you've probably noticed, I'm follically challenged, but it wasn't always that way. At one time I did have hair, and when I was younger, I had a nice head of hair, but as I was going into my teenage years, my dad was convinced I needed to stay on the true path and maintain the family hairstyle. So that either meant in the spring I would get marched down to the Patterson residence with all the neighborhood boys, and Mr. Patterson would take the bus and we'd get our summer brush cut. Or if I was really lucky, I'd get to go to McConnell's on Main Street and I would get the wave. Now, you know, I tell you what, the wave is his signature look, and it looks awesome on him. As a 14-year-old going into high school, not so much. So, fortunately, my mom had the foresight to realize that, you know, you always pick your battles, and for me, this was a big battle. And she somehow managed to talk Dad into allowing me to actually appear in public with hair that actually covered my ears. I know that's a drastic situation, but in the end, it wasn't a real big deal, but it was a huge deal for me. And my mom recognized that fact, and I'll never forget that, you know, she was willing to go to bat for me when she knew it was important. And I'm sure if you talk to my brothers, they'll have the same watershed memories and moments as well. Now, having said that, we weren't the only children that mattered to my mother. She was a babysitter in our home for a number of years, where we witnessed her love for children on a daily basis. She then moved on to managing the canteen at the Prescott Arena, and then on to South Grenville District High School, where she was nicknamed the French fry lady. Two birds with one stone. The kids were popular, and Dad liked the way she smelled. During those years, Mommy interacted with scores and scores of youngsters. And she just didn't serve them as an employee, but she visited them, and she took a genuine interest in their lives. And again, that interest just wasn't a matter of Mom being polite. She was genuinely interested in these youngsters, and she loved interacting with them. That became an integral part of her life. She then went on to other jobs, working at Max, at McEwen's, and they provided Mom with the opportunity to engage many Prescott residents in her social life. I don't think I probably need a calculator to keep track of the conversations she would have on a daily basis at any of these jobs with the people coming out of the stores. It wasn't uncommon for people who may have dropped in for a drink or maybe a couple of lottery tickets to spend a few minutes chatting with Mom about anything and everything. For Mom, friendliness was the root of the customer service. Through the years, I've watched many people come into our home and become part of her social circle. Her sense of humor was obvious to all, and she loved to share stories, whether it was over coffee, a game of cards, or just chatting on the phone. For many years, Mom was, and I say this with as much love and respect as I can, she was a bingo Annie. Man, she hung out at those bingo halls. She couldn't help herself. She played an incredibly large number of cards. So here you got this 4'11" woman with a wingspan of about this much, with her 6 feet of cards in front of her. And of course, she had to have all her little good luck charms lined up across the table in front of her. But again, it was just another opportunity for her to get out and share time with people who shared an interest with her. In between the games, when they went on their smoke breaks, they would catch up on life. As much as she enjoyed games, she also understood the importance of being a dependable friend. I'm so proud of her that when anyone needed help, Mom was there. So they knew they could depend on her regardless of the circumstance. And again, that's another area where my brothers and I learned how to set our moral compasses, because it's one thing to talk about things, it's another thing to walk the walk, and my mom walked the walk, and that's how we learned to do it. As I said earlier, Mom's greatest love was Dad, but running a close second, and I mean like a really close second, are her grandchildren. My wife Leanne and I were fortunate enough to present Mom and Dad with their first grandchild when Dana was born in 1991. Nana was thrilled to pieces to have a grandchild to love and to play with and to spoil. And believe me, she took that spoiling to the nth degree. As the numbers increased, she ended up being blessed with 9 grandchildren. Nana basked in the joy of being a grandmother. I think a great example of her dedication to her grandchildren was displayed one time I came, and Damien, when he was little. Tim and Jeanette's house, the basement wasn't full yet, so we could go down there and play. And he would say, Nana, let's go downstairs and play mini sticks. Let's go downstairs and play hockey. I'll tell you, nothing says dedication to your grandson to see a 65-year-old woman on her hands and knees playing mini sticks. Now that's dedication. She also loved having her grandchildren in her home. I'm sure that if you talk to Greg's boys, they'll never forget the sleepover adventures that they had at Nana's house. I mean, we at one point when my girls were a little bit older, we sent them out to spend 2 weeks with Mom, just so they could have a bit of that experience that I hope Drew and Tyler and Chase don't take for granted. They got to spend a lot of lovely time with Mom and Dad at the house, and I'm sure she treasured those moments as much as you guys did. The last month has been tough for our family as Mom's illness reared its ugly head and punished her with every passing day. Yet, we are thankful for the opportunity we were given to say our goodbyes to her, to be able to tell her everything we wanted her to know. We are comforted by you, our family and friends, who have reminded us about what an amazing woman our mother was. I took a quick moment this morning to visit a few social media sites and read some tributes that people had written about her, and I'd like to share a few of them with you. She was a super lady who always had a hello and a smile for everyone. Faders will never be the same with the passing of one of the finest ladies whom was a role model to many young kids growing up. Loved her spunk and spirit, she'll be missed by many. Your mom was a wonderful influence to me. She gave me my first job and taught me so much. She was a wonderful person and will be missed by many. She raised 3 great boys into 3 great men and dads. She was a wonderful lady. These type of comments are a direct reflection of the type of the woman my mother was. She wasn't concerned about being famous or being rich or being a somebody. She just wanted to be the best woman, the best wife, the best mother, the best nana, the best friend that she could be. And I can honestly say that she succeeded in that. So as we leave here today, be sure to take your favorite memories of Mom with you. It might be something just as simple as the taste of a cinnamon jawbreaker to bring Mom back to you. So let's keep her in our hearts, and she'll be with us there forever. Thank you.